welcome to you all at home.
Both McLaren start on the medium, feeling strong ahead of the race.
You've still got a chance to win this race, haven't you?
Just drive. I wanna be the only one to make it feel alive. Drive. Take it to the edge where I lived 1,000 lives.
When I brake very late, to open up the left hand.
Fascinating race ahead.
So this is it, the final day of pre-season testing before the cars are packed off to Australia. Will McLaren get a full day's running? Will Force India step up their programme? And will Nico Rosberg go even quicker? Let's see how the final day panned out. Well, for McLaren, it was a long morning in the garage while system checks were carried out. 5 minutes before lunch, Jenson Button finally got out for 2 installation laps. After the break, the programme ran more smoothly with a series of short runs, meaning he finished the day with just 30 laps in total. Mercedes continued with their plans. Nico Rosberg driving for them on the final day, and he completed 69 laps before lunch. No repeat of his qualifying simulation run from day 2, but plenty of laps brought his total for the final test to 254. Nico, when we spoke to you last time, you weren't that happy with the setup of the car and said you were fighting it a little bit. How was today's running?
Again, not so happy, but it's all relative. Overall, I'm very, very happy with the car and with the performance and everything. You know, the team has done a great job again, so we're in a good position. But it's now the fine tuning, you know, and I still need to nail it. But I think I know what we need to do now, or we know what we need to do. So for Melbourne, it will be fine.
Sebastian Vettel was back in the Ferrari, and after going second on the timesheet in the morning with the super soft tyres, it was his turn for a race simulation in the afternoon.
Do you think that you are where you expected to be performance-wise? And what about the championship? Where do you see Ferrari?
Oh, it's difficult to say. Now is the 1st of March, so in 2 weeks we know a little bit more. I think it's clear that Mercedes is in front. After that there seems to be a bit of a gap, and then I think it's a lot closer with many teams. Difficult to say who is right behind. But I think it's probably very close between Williams, Red Bull, ourselves. That's at least how it looks.
The first 6 position on the grid in Australia, in your opinion, if you have to pick up 6 people on the grid?
Well, the first 2 is easy unless they have some issues. It's 2 Mercedes, unfortunately. And then I hope 2 Ferraris, and then I don't care.
How do you feel the testing's gone for Ferrari?
I mean, we are following our program. The most important thing is to have discipline in a way that instead to go up, down, left, right, to follow our way without pressure. I noticed that the team is very committed and concentrated, and that's good for us.
What's the feedback been from the drivers?
Well, they are quite happy. Kimi said that he noticed an improvement versus last year. For Seb, everything is new. He's very enthusiastic, and at the moment the feedback they are quite positive.
We know Kimi struggled with last year's car in terms of fitting his driving style. This one suits him better, does it?
Yeah, he said that he feels much better this year with the new car.
You've said you're targeting 2 victories this season. Are the drivers happy with that? Do they want more? Do they think there's more in the car?
If you listen to the driver, they want to win the championship, of course, but we have to be realistic. 2 victories, coming from the situation that we had last year, they are, in my opinion, more than fine. 3, as I said, it could be fantastic, and 4, you know what I said, that I'm going to work from Maranello to anywhere.
There was 100th of a second between Kimi's quick lap yesterday and the Williams. Do you think that's roughly where you are on the grid? Do you think that's realistic? Maybe 0.8 a second behind the Mercedes, but right up there with the Williams for that second place?
I mean, we are not looking really the other team because, you know, during the testing you have different strategy, different program to follow, so timing is not really a good reference.
Red Bull had a sense of déjà vu as the car once again broke down at the end of the pit lane and then spent time in the garage. In fact, it was just over 4 hours before it was back out again. Daniel Ricciardo made the most of the afternoon sunshine though and totaled 72 laps for the day. Sergio Perez finally got his first taste of the 2015 Force India and got in 130 laps in the Spanish sun, but he's prepared for more hard work ahead. First run in the car today, how was it?
Yeah, I'm always excited not to find out about the new car. It was so good that we had a reference from the old car, and obviously we are a couple of steps behind our competition. So we only had 2 days. That's a reality. We cannot hide it, but I think it's a promising start. I think it will take us a couple of races to get where we want to be. But the most important thing and something that makes me feel a bit more comfortable is that we had a very clear direction on where we have to improve the car and the steps we have to make as a team to improve the car. So that makes me a bit more comfortable. But it's a lot of work ahead of us, and as I say, we are a couple of steps behind our competition.
Lotus continued their programme, which had to date shown the Mercedes power unit to be reliable in its new E23 home. So Nick, what's your assessment of Lotus's pre-season so far?
Well, we've had a very good pre-season testing. You know, the car was reliable straight out of the box. We've got a lot of miles done, a lot of setup work, and we feel we've made quite a good step from last year.
The drivers have both said how much easier this car is to drive than last year's car, but is it going to be quick?
Well, it's definitely a lot easier to drive. I mean, it's a lot more consistent, and they can put the car on the limit a lot easier, which is, obviously helping them to do a good job in the cockpit. And we can see already it is quicker. We've made a decent step up the timesheets.
In terms of when you're going to show your true pace, full power, qualifying in Australia, or will we see anything this afternoon?
I think it's going to be Melbourne. We've still got a few more bits to go on, and that's probably true of the other teams as well. And I think we won't really see a definitive order until everyone's in qualifying in Melbourne.
How different will the car be in Melbourne to the one you're running today?
It'll be a little bit different. There's still a few aero pieces that we haven't got on today. It's broadly there, but there's still a couple of little changes to do.
And the Mercedes power unit, how do you assess it?
It's been very good. I mean, it's been very easy for us to install. It operates faultlessly, and it's good performance. So it's been a good step for us.
Everyone's trying to get predictions on where people are going to be in the grid, but at the moment, that sort of pack behind, say, Mercedes, Williams and Ferrari maybe, looks pretty tight. Whereabouts do you think Lotus are in that? Are you expecting to be challenging for Q3?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've got Mercedes out well in front, probably Williams and Ferrari pretty close. And then in that group behind, we think we're towards the top of that. So, we're looking like we should get into Q3 reasonably nicely.
Pastor Maldonado was in the car for the final day and in the lunch break explained the team's plans for the afternoon. Pastor, the car feels better. Both of you have said that. We've got Mercedes power now. Why are we not seeing it higher up the timesheets?
We are now focused on testing different things. More focus on the race pace. Last week we've been pushing a bit more than this week, and we saw good times. And it's our plans. It's just about our plans. I think if we want to go forward in the qualifying, we can do it. For sure not at the top as Mercedes, but we are not that bad. To be honest, it's a good step forward. We still need to work hard. The feeling is not too bad, so let's do our best. We are feeling much better prepared than last season.
Will you be doing qualifying simulation this afternoon?
I hope. We need to check. It depends about the tests we are doing, and hopefully we can do some good laps.
How is the car on the tyres? We're getting some warmer temperatures now at the moment. Get a proper feel for how the season's going to be?
Maybe yes. It should be important maybe to go on the softer compounds, especially the soft one is a good information for us. We've been putting a lot of them last week. Car feels quite good. Still some points to improve, especially in the setup, but we are working hard. There is some new bits coming from the race as well, so we are working.
Unfortunately, he crashed 15 minutes into that afternoon session, leaving his mark at turn 4, causing front wing and suspension damage, and his day was over. Valtteri Bottas put on the super soft tyres in the morning and beat his teammate with a time of 1:23.063, but was still slower than both Mercedes drivers on the soft tyres. But with 89 laps on the board for the day, they completed their programme and began pack-up with 80 minutes still to go. The Supersofts also saw Sauber record their quickest time of the week. Felipe Nasr in the car on the final day recorded a 1:24.023 and completed a race simulation. They were the first team to break 100 laps for the day, and their drivers won't be short of time in the car come Melbourne. But its pace suggests it may be battling at the back of the midfield. The Toro Rosso had been running well at the hands of Max Verstappen, who continues to impress. However, 69 laps into his day, he pulled over at the side of the track at turn 11 with an engine issue and caused the second red flag of the afternoon. He did get out again for another 16 laps before the checkered flag fell. So that's it. It's time to pore over all the data that's been collected in the last 12 days of testing and pack up all the freight and send it to Australia for the first race in Melbourne in 2 weeks' time. There's no doubt that Mercedes look to have a clear advantage, but where the rest of the grid falls into place is intriguing. Williams seem to have the edge over Ferrari, but only just, and where do Red Bull lie? As for Force India and McLaren, they've admitted they may be waiting until we're back into the European section of the season before they can really compete. That European section starts here in Barcelona in May. Before that, we'll bring you the first 4 races of the season. And remember, every session of every race is live only on Sky Sports F1. We'll see you in Australia.